You're listening to Lifty Conversations. This is a Skype conversation with our guest Tahiya from Uganda. Due to the coronavirus, Uganda is also under lockdown. Tahiya is a single mother with no savings, with bills to pay, and an employee she can't help. She shares her challenges, concerns, and hopes. Currently, we know that there is the coronavirus impacting different countries. It's a pandemic at the moment. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and how coronavirus is now affecting your way of life. So, do you want to just give us a bit of a history about yourself first?
I'm Tahiya, a mother of one. At the moment in Uganda, we're on total lockdown. There's curfew. You're not supposed to go outside. You can walk from 6 a.m. to
Hmm.
7 p.m. Beyond that, you're not supposed to go anywhere. Transportation was dismissed. We're not supposed to go anywhere. We're not supposed to work. We're supposed to be at home. The slogan is stay home and be safe.
Okay, okay. And how are you finding that the whole staying at home, like in terms of your day to day, how does that impact you as
Things are a bit hard because we never prepared for this. You know, in Uganda, what you make is what you eat. So like the little saving we had, you have to buy food, stock it. But at the end of the day, that food gets finished.
yeah.
So at the moment, remember we are on total lockdown. That means no one is working. I have a child who needs to feed. But things, of course, things have to change. They won't be the same like before.
So what do you do to get food? How is that work for you, and how difficult is that to go and find somewhere to buy food or find the food that you're looking for? Because I know that when the lockdown started in other countries, one of the things they found that, especially in the supermarkets, it was very difficult to find toilet paper, pasta, and things like that. I think the dietary requirements in Uganda are much different. Are you seeing the same kind of challenges? And if so, where are you seeing those challenges?
Now, for me, I can't go to any supermarket because to me they are very expensive. I can't afford whatever they are selling. So we opt for there's an option B. We have these smaller shops. Now that's where we buy things.
Give
They
me a
get
flavor. Give us a flavor of what those smaller shops are like. What is it like in there? Is it really busy? Is it?
actually supposed to go there one person at a time. But in Uganda, people are a bit reluctant about the coronavirus. People are a bit actually careless. Those who know, for us who know how it's really affecting other countries, we try our best to keep the distance. So you make sure you go and buy what you're supposed to buy, then you're back. The prices of things have gone a bit high. People
Mm.
have used that advantage to hike some prices. But we're doing the best to survive.
So what kind of things are you in terms of like the things that you're experiencing in terms of the price hike? So what would you normally go for and you think, oh, the price here has changed? Is it like vegetables or is it other things like meat and stuff like that? What sort of things have they hiked the
For
prices
me
about?
personally, at the moment, meat is a luxury. So we go for beans, posho, a little bit of rice. Actually, it's beans, posho, and rice.
So when you say posho, that's maize flour, isn't it? That's what you're referring to.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, and sugar.
Okay.
Now for us, that's what we call basic need. Then soap, because in Uganda they tell you have to wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. That's a campaign. They're advising people to wash their hands. They gave us actually numbers to call just in case you get those signs. But still, no matter how hard you try to call those numbers, no one will ever pick.
Because is it they're inundated with calls, do you think? Or what do you think is happening? And why do you think that people are not picking up? Just trying to understand exactly what.
Actually, I forgot to tell you something. They
Hmm.
refuse any vehicle, be it during the day or during the night. You're supposed to ask if you're going somewhere, you're supposed to get that permission. You get a sticker to put on your vehicle. And they gave us RDC numbers. Those are the numbers you're supposed to call in case of an emergency. But
RDC? Is it what does it actually stand for? And is that your equivalent to the ambulance? police? What is it? What's the?
You can call the ambulance, but it's too expensive for us.
Oh, okay. When you say expensive, you mean they charge you for coming out?
Of course, you have to pay. Whichever
Is it?
hospital
Okay.
you're into, you have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're a corona victim, then you have to call Ministry of Health.
Okay. Okay.
But if you're sick, I have malaria, I'm not feeling fine, I need to see a doctor, you have to pay for the ambulance. Or
Okay.
you have to call your residential, they're called, uh, what is it in full already? See, there is, actually, they sit at a district. And that's the number you're supposed to call. Then they come and pick you. But no matter, we've tried calling their numbers, no one picks up. I think they're overwhelmed. Too
Mm-hmm.
many people call on one number. They all need help and they can't help everybody. But we're praying. When there's a will, there's a way.
So how are you managing to keep yourself safe with your daughter? I know the challenges of, you talked about the challenges of trying to get food and the cost. Tell me how your day to day is.
At the moment, I try my best to keep her inside the house, but it's really hard. She wants to go outside and play with the neighbors, and you can't keep a baby, like she's almost making 2 years old. You
Mm,
can't contain her in one place in a one-bedroomed house to stay there the whole day. And today, actually, our subscription expired for
Excellent.
TV, which means it's going to be even more harder. She wants to go and interact with other kids. Of course, they will hug, she will touch their hands
Mm,
because she doesn't understand the coronavirus thing.
mm.
She just doesn't get it. She's making 2 years in May. I say that she doesn't understand because
And
she's
there
still young.
and the other parents letting their kids also come out in your neighbor in the area that you live, or it's just, how they manage to interact, because I thought everybody had to be indoors. Is it local areas
Like,
that?
like for us where we stay,
Mm,
there are 7 houses. Like those small gates in Uganda,
yeah.
those local small gates. We have like 7 houses. Then outside, like outside our gate, there are like there are 30 houses outside,
Mm,
congested in one place. Now for us, with the 7 houses, 4 of us have kids. So like sometimes we take them outside to play, but you have to be there to monitor.
okay. Yeah.
Everybody walks in and walks out. You don't know where they have been. You don't know what they have touched. But your child wants to play outside. She doesn't want to be contained inside. That's a bit of a challenge.
Mm.
But hey, you have to do what you have to do. You have to be there. I usually TV has been occupying her, but now I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to look for plan B.
Plan B. And what kind of things are you thinking about when it comes to Plan B in terms of
That means
occupying?
when she's tired of staying inside, I have to go outside and be there with her. Like when she's running around, I have to make sure she doesn't touch anyone, she doesn't come in contact with anyone,
Mm.
which is again risky, but there's nothing I can do about it. Though I'll do my best to make sure she's inside because we don't have masks.
When you say you don't have masks, is that they're none available, or they are there but they're very expensive, or what is the situation
The
with the masks?
pharmacies nearby our area, actually, they're not even pharmacies, they are clinics
Mm-hmm.
available.
Not
Because, like,
available.
from my place of residence to where there is a big pharmacy, I have to move. Right, let me see how many 10 kilometers. And I can't leave my baby behind, which means I have to walk with her.
Yeah.
And at the same time, those masks are supposed to use them once. They are single use, which means they are too expensive for me. And I
Mm.
can't buy for myself a mask for my daughter also. That is too much. I can't handle all that. Remember, I'm not working, I'm spending.
Is it you're not working at the moment because of the lockdown? Is it they've said to you, you can't move,
Yes.
you can't? Yeah. Okay.
But I'm spending.
Yeah.
I just hope this thing ends soon because I don't know
Any
what's going to happen in a few weeks. Actually, in a few days.
Have they announced what's going to happen? What's going to happen in a few weeks, in a few days, in terms of giving you more information? Is there any support that you get from the government or anyone in the community or anything like that?
The president promised
Mm.
provide people with push and beans.
I saw something about that, the government getting, I think, military personnel to issue out some food, portion beans. Is that something that you can access, or is it something that's only available to very few people? Is that
For us, we haven't seen anything. I'll speak for myself and for
okay?
people in my area.
Okay, understood.
I haven't had anyone saying that they received food. Me myself, I haven't seen anything because they
But
told us to knock on your door, give you food. So we
oh, is
haven't
it?
received anything.
That sounds like that's the intention. So how long ago was that, and was that announced? Is that something that was announced?
It was announced, was it on Friday? It was
Uh,
announced on Friday.
yeah.
But so far, we haven't, for me, I'll speak for myself.
Mm,
And for that few people, like my family that I've asked my friends, they
mm,
haven't received anything.
mm.
But of course, what I believe is I don't think they can feed each and everyone.
Really? Why? What makes you think that?
This is Uganda. This is my country. I understand it well. I know how things work. I don't think they'll be able to feed each and every person. Remember, there is one man, he has three wives.
Mm,
How are you going to feed all those wives?
yeah,
They have very many children.
yeah.
I don't think, anyway, you never know. Let's just be hopeful.
It sounds like it is a difficult environment for you to be able to manage on a day-to-day basis. It very sounds like very much like that. So what about the rest of the family, your sisters, your brothers, how they coping and what they doing?
My mom told me that for her case, she can't stop working since
Mm.
she has a small grocery shop. So she goes there and comes back before curfew. Because if she doesn't work, she won't eat.
Curfew being 6 to 7.
Yes.
So for her, she just got to make sure that the vegetables and stuff, because I imagine the reason she can still work is because she's selling vegetables and things like that, that essential items that people would need
Yeah, she
for them.
sells basic stuff.
Yeah, okay, okay.
So she has to be there. If the day she doesn't work, that means she won't have something to eat.
So it's also
So I,
difficult for her.
actually, I'm also worried about her because she's also on high risk.
High risk being her age. So has she got gloves or masks or anything like that that
She
she?
doesn't. The last time I talked to her, she told me she doesn't have gloves. No, she got gloves, but she doesn't have any mask. She just washes her hands.
So in,
But I tell her that don't work because I
mm,
can't support her. I'm barely finding something to eat.
mm,
So how can I then take care of her? So I can't tell her don't go to work, stay at home and do what? Yet a few months back her house collapsed. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Where she's staying, actually the house isn't even complete yet. So
Mm,
anytime you expect, remember right now, crime rate is a bit high since people are not working, which means they have to steal to find
mm,
what to eat. So the crime rate is a bit high.
mm,
I'm here, but my prayers are with her
mm.
because the moment they just knock on her door, it will be on the floor.
When you say they
So
knock on our door, what do you mean? The moment they knock on our door, it'll be on the
remember
floor.
the house collapsed. So the
Yeah,
small room where she's
yeah,
staying,
yeah.
it's not in good condition. So in case of any heavy rain, that
Mm.
means the other place will also collapse.
Is it? Oh,
So like she's just there by the grace of God at the moment.
mm.
Actually, it's God who's protecting her. Seriously, where would she go? And right now, I can't tell her to walk all the way from Baga Road to where I stay. It's a
Because
bit far.
it's a bit fun. It's a bit risky as well.
I go, how can I buy a bicycle when I don't even have what to eat?
So in terms of everybody else, sisters, brothers, how they coping
I talked to my older sister.
with
She
it?
gave birth from inside her house.
Oh, wow.
It was last week.
How
Was
is
it
she
on
doing?
Monday? She told me she's fine, but she
Hmm.
hasn't seen any doctor.
What do you mean she hasn't seen a doctor? So she gave home birth, but she's not been to a doctor or anything like that.
No, she didn't go to any hospital. She gave birth from home. There was an older lady who helped her to deliver the baby. That's the story
Wow.
she told me. I can't go and see her at the moment because I can't walk all the way from here to her place. It's very far.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
But
how is
she
she
said
doing?
she's very fine.
She says she's fine.
She told me that she's okay. She didn't want to go to the hospital because she was scared to go to the hospital, then
Mm.
gets contaminated with different diseases, then brings them to her kids. So she opted to give birth from home.
And what about the others? Have you managed to be in
Uh,
contact, find out where they are and how they're doing?
the few that I've talked to, I haven't called everyone. That I've talked to only 4, and they're surviving. Everyone is doing their best. All I can say is I can't help any of them, and they can't help me because they have too little to spare.
That is the biggest challenge, is that although you know the family is quite big and diverse, is that they all have their own challenges within the family, whether it's looking after their kids, feeding, finding food for their kids, you know, giving birth. All these things are happening within that family, and it's very hard to then see beyond their immediate environment to be able to, you know, give the support that's required, whether it's building completing a home.
The best I can do is only to talk to them, to tell them, I love you, people, but stay where you are. That's
And
the best I can tell them. I love you, but stay where you are. May God protect you.
And how are you communicating to each other? Imagine communication is key. What sort of what tools are you using to communicate? Is it is it WhatsApp, or is there a family group chat? How you manage to communicate with one another?
I call them direct. You have to check. Anything can happen at the moment because you don't know who's fine, you don't know who's sick. We
Mm,
hear stories. Some people just passed through the airport. They weren't quarantined. So those people, they met other people. They interacted with people. And, people end up meeting people. So
yeah,
you don't know who's safe. You don't know who's fine. There are some people, actually, they told that there's some people who fear going to the ministry. They are hidden in their houses. And you can't force someone to go to go. Actually, I think what people just fear going there.
going to other ministry.
I think they fear testing for corona.
Why they fear testing for corona? Is
I
that where they get
think
tested?
they feel like you're supposed to call the Minister of Health to come. They are the ones who are supposed to come. You're not supposed to go because
Ah,
along the
okay.
way, even you
Yeah.
might infect other people.
Understood, understood. So you call them, they come and test you, and then they
They are
confirm whether.
the ones who are supposed to come to you.
Okay.
But we're having a challenge
Mm,
in that even when you call them,
mhm.
they don't come on that day.
Is it because of the difficulty in having enough people to do it? What do you think is the reason why they're not coming in?
I don't want
When
to give them any excuse, but
okay.
in my country, as I see it, we are going to die.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
No,
Uh,
the way I know my country, we are going to die.
mhm,
If God doesn't, if all we need is God, actually, it's God who's protecting us at the moment.
mhm, mhm,
We are living by God's grace. When you go to the market to buy things, there are like 20 people in one place. That social distancing thing doesn't work.
because those places are very confined, you know, to get around. People are always moving around. It's very hard to keep your distances
Remember
open.
how you're staying in a slum. That means you people are many. There are a large number of people. And
Hmm.
these are low income earners.
Hmm.
So that we're trying to get the cheapest things at
Hmm.
the little money they have. So like you first come, first serve.
Hmm.
So we are congested in one place. We all want to be served. And you want to be the first to get it. The things are a bit it's God.
Hmm.
It's God who's if they are saying the government is saying there are 48 those who have corona, 48 people. Yeah, more than that. but
You
they
think?
don't know that they have corona because we are very congested for real. If it wasn't that, some of us we closed out, we stay indoors,
Mm,
make sure our kids are always inside the house. Because my daughter can't spend the whole day in the house.
mm.
She'll bang on the door, she wants to go outside and play. And when her friends come calling for her, I can't tell them back because she will cry until you open that door. And as a child, as a normal child, she has to play. So I'll
And
repeat it. I'm
mm,
alive. We
you
are
are right.
alive by God's grace.
Mm.
It's only good. I won't lie to you that I've ever even put on a mask. Never.
You mean putting on a mask as a result of the
I like
corona thing?
into the shop, then I put on a mask to
Mm.
protect myself. I've never. I
You,
don't
you,
even have it. The last time I asked
I,
for
are
a
you
price,
are you seeing are you seeing lots of people there who have masks, or is it just you're not seeing many people with masks and gloves? Is it just
the
sounds like
market,
a luxury item that if you can afford it, then you
in
have
the
it. But
market, in the market where we buy things,
yeah,
one has a mask.
okay.
I haven't seen anyone with a mask in the market where I buy things.
You haven't
That
seen it with the mask,
people
is that what you're saying?
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone wearing a mask. Maybe these people who pass by.
Hmm.
There are some who do have masks, but those people who sell to us, they don't have. But what they have is a basin and soap for you to wash your hands.
Yeah.
That's what they provide for us. Actually, every store that you go to, they have that.
Okay.
Before they give you anything, you first wash your hands. But remember, you're going to give them money, they're going to touch it. They
So you're
don't
kind
have
of
any
saying
gloves.
it kind of negates the reason to wash your hands if there's in fact if the money you're exchanging is going to be infected with something. Is that what you're saying?
Actually, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Hmm.
And remember, for us in Uganda, we don't keep money in our pocket. We store our money in our breast.
No. Oh God. Okay.
Like that bra, that's where you put your money to be safe. Because any other place they'll take it. So like every time, remember she does that.
Mm,
By the time she goes back home, that's why I'm saying we'll be dead by now, surviving by the grace of God. At this time, even I can't go out with a phone because they'll take it.
because of the high crime rate that you're saying is that now because people need money, there's a higher crime rate, and therefore you're more at risk when you're out with your phone or any luxury
I,
type items. Yeah.
I can't go with it anywhere because there's someone who needs it more than me out there, who feels like they're entitled.
What's your view on people who are going out and doing this and
I condemn it.
condemn it? Yeah.
So the moment if you try to, so far I've lost 2 phones, and the moment if you try to fight, then they'll harm you. Because when a thief comes to steal, they come for two things. They either take your life and take your property. So the moment they take it, the first thing you do is to protect yourself. You just let him go. So there isn't only one person. They're always in large numbers, but the person who takes it is one. That's what you see. But kumbe there are other more people that have been following him.
So it's more like a gang.
I've
I get
experienced it, so now I know. A
it's like a
phone, you leave it at home, you go empty-handed with
mm,
only your Kavera.
Cavera being your paper bag.
You call it plastic bag?
Yeah, plastic bag. Yeah. The reason I was asking you the question is not to say that you condone theft or anything like that. It's just I just wondered because you talk about God, whether there was a perspective of an understanding why people are doing this, irrespective of how heinous the crime is. I was just wondering whether you had a view on that.
Actually, are you asking me what's causing them to do this?
No, I'm asking you whether you had a different point of view, whether there was a level of understanding of why they were doing, why they had to do what they're doing. I know. Just wondering whether you had that, or was it just the case, you condone it and you don't think there's any need to provide any understanding or an explanation of why that people should be going out and doing that.
Right now, at this moment, no matter even if I tell that person, don't steal, remember this person doesn't have what to eat.
Yeah.
So that person will ask you, give me what to eat. And there's something that I can't provide to that person. So at the end of the day,
Mm,
actually, where are you going? Actually, at what time are you going? Are you even going to talk to them?
mm,
Because the people who rob us, you don't know them. You don't know.
yeah.
And at night, it's worse. They come with pangas. They come when they are ready.
They come with what? Plan? What is it?
Because in my own compound, this didn't happen in Corona time.
Mm,
Before Corona, that's when they broke into my neighbor's house. They broke the door down.
mm.
They had come actually to, they came prepared. So we tried to scream and they ran away, but the door was on the floor. So for her case, she couldn't stay. She felt like she couldn't stay here anymore. She had to shift. So I'm wondering right now that people are not working.
It's gonna get worse.
This week we've been surviving with our little saving that we had.
Hmm.
Now remember we're on total lockdown for 2 weeks.
Yeah, the question now, I guess the underlying question is how we expected to survive when we can't go out and work. And if you're saying that food is not arriving at your doorstep, that even makes it more of a challenge for yourself and worse. And that brings out
Yes.
the behaviors that, that are not, that you've just highlighted there, which it's really hard to hear, because it sounds like something that will spiral into uh, a very unsafe environment for anyone to be living in. But especially when you've got a young daughter as well, trying to raise a young daughter as well.
Right now, I'll say we are okay.
Hmm.
I just pray that this total lockdown it ends on 2 weeks.
So
But longer than that, God has to intervene. Because
so
I don't know what I'll do. Because I have no solution. I
mm,
can't I can't beg for someone else to give me food when they're actually coming to you also to ask you to give them something that you have. So I don't know. I don't know. I just pray that in this lockdown ends in 2 weeks,
mm,
that we could be able to go back to work. Actually, I think even this Easter, no one's going to celebrate it. From my locality, because right now we are all surviving on portion beans, portion beans, portion beans. And right now the price of beans has gone high
mhm.
because a kilo is 5,600. Now to us, that's very, very expensive. At least for me, I have one child.
Mm.
Now imagine someone who has six.
How long will the kilo last? How long will a kilo last for a
What's
person?
enough for them for a day?
1 kilo is enough for just
Uh,
one day.
Now for like six people
Oh, for 6 people. Okay.
here
Yes.
who give birth like no money's business. So you find one family, there are six children plus the father and the mother. Mother doesn't work. Right now, even the dad doesn't work
Mm,
because most people from my area are border riders. Are
mm,
these people who sell food? These people who sell on these small stalls
mm,
on the roadside. People who sell one cup of beans like that. It's
mm.
those people. So just imagine. So 1 kilo, it will take them for one day. The
One.
highest is maybe to even the next day, but lunch
How much did you say one
time is
kilo
a
was?
luxury.
How
It's
much
supposed
is
to be 5,600
5,600? Okay,
shillings.
shillings. Yeah. Yeah, it's important to put in context because when you're listening to this, 5,600 for a kilo of what is posho, yeah?
No, shillings. No,
Oh,
that's beans.
beans, yeah. What about posho?
For sure. The last time
Mm,
I bought a kilo at, was it 3,000? Because I bought five. So that I keep because my daughter has to take porridge. No, I have right now. She's the first priority.
And what about sugar? Because that's the essence. I think I
She
don't know
can
if you,
take without. When it comes to the words, she will take without sugar.
uh, and how much is sugar then?
It's 6,000.
6,000 for sugar. 1 kilo,
It
yeah.
depends on where you made from.
And you say if you had 1 kilo for you and your daughter, if you had 1 kilo of 1 kilo of beans, 1 kilo of posho, how long would that last you if you're looking at it? Is that 6 days or a week or less?
Yeah, me and her, since I have to prepare porridge for her. These things of balanced diet, they ended when I was working. Now
Hmm.
she'll eat what is there. So I prepare pork. So a kilo could take us like 4 days.
4 days,
You
yeah.
know, eat it. That's eating one meal, not 2 meals a day. Then plus a porridge, because has to be there as a must. We go for 4 days tops. So
One
what
meal
I
a day.
did for 5.
That's what you did for what?
Me, what I did is I bought 5 kgs
Mm.
to take me for some time. Sugar, right now we have a kilo of sugar. Now that is for her. Me, I'm not supposed to take.
Mm.
So Alicia has to take her porridge as a must. But I'm supposed to be breastfeeding her. But since I'm not eating very well,
Mm.
so she's not getting any nutrition from me. And the good thing, at least, there's a silver lining. She'll be making two.
That means what do it mean when she's 2? What does that mean?
I'll stop breastfeeding her when she's. At least we'll get there.
And just looking back on before the corona, now you've highlighted you've gone through some of the challenges and the difficulties, and just day-to-day living, not just just looking at security, food, managing with a young daughter who's very young. Um, before all this, how was life then? How Go on, you're going to say something.
Before you go to life, right
Mm.
now, 10 our landlords, we have to pay for rent. You have to
Yeah.
pay rent. So bills are piling. You have to pay rent. You have to pay the water bill. You have to pay for electricity.
Mm.
Those are still constant. There is no negotiation. The
Mm.
only thing with us that at least for the bills, electricity, that one I have to buy
Mm.
because it's auto,
So how
like
much you
it's
talking about rent? How much is rent? How much is water? And how long does that cover you for?
for water,
Mm.
I pay 25,000 shillings a month. So they already brought my bill, but I've pushed it until when I go back to work. That's when I'll clear it. Electricity, it's
Mm.
me. You pay for what you're going to use.
You pay as you go.
The units you buy, then you
Mm.
put and set them in your meter. The moment they are through, there's total darkness.
Mm. And what about rent and stuff?
For rent, my rent, I called my landlord and told him this month we are not paying. Because this month I don't have his one at the moment. So he has
And
to wait till we
it-
go back to work.
okay. And is the understanding around that?
I'll be in rent errors. So this thing is really going to affect me big
Mm.
time. Because now I'll be having debts. But anyway, we'll see. There will be a way.
So, so if we go back to, if we just start off again and looking at what life was before Corona, because Corona, as you highlighted, is going to present itself with not just challenges that you're facing now, but also challenges in terms of arrears and in terms of your rent. What was it like before? Were you as a single mother? Were you surviving? You talk
Before
about.
I was surviving,
Yeah, yeah. And what
before
did
I
that
was
and what did survival look like for you? What was it like for you in terms of in terms of food, in terms of other things that you felt, yeah, actually, whatever's going on,
Thing
I'm
is, I
still.
could at least whatever I was making back then, I could
Mm,
at least afford to pay for my rent,
mhm,
to take care of my daughter. She'll be okay. Like
mm.
okay in Uganda, that is at least she can eat. I can provide for her 2 meals a day. Rent would be paid. I could pay rent on time. Then I could clear my bills, but with no extra.
And that's what you mean by survival, is your hand day to
No
day,
extra.
no savings, no anything, yeah.
What I was making was just enough for me and her. No saving. I remember there are times I had, most especially when you're working. Sometimes things go well, other times things don't work out the way you want them to be. But still, there is a mouth at home that needs to be fed. But we're hustling. You had to choose your priorities. I gave up on some things. As long as she's fine, that's the most. To me, if my daughter is okay, I'm fine. As long as she's fine, she's safe, she's healthy, to me, that is my number one priority. With business, business, sometimes things are good, sometimes things are bad. Remember, I'm operating on a very small capital.
So that's the other thing worth mentioning, um, just to understand, is that although you're a single mother, you've got a job, but you also have your own business that you're trying to manage, and as you highlight, uh, on a very small capital. Would you just talk a little bit about that side of the business that you're trying to manage and how that's gone for you and how you found that experience?
Okay, what I did is I no longer work. The job I had, I left it some time back. When I was pregnant, I left the job.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my job. So at the moment, I sell clothes, those Muslim attires. People buy them. It's easier. Actually, that's what people use. It's easy for us. So I sell those. So I got a lady who moves around
Mm-hmm.
selling them. Actually, I don't even know how she is. I called and she told me things are bad on her side. Because remember, I'm her boss if I'm not doing well. So for her kids, she told me her story. Because she also has a daughter. She has two, then her mother, her father, her sister, they are all looking up on her. She told me her mother is sick, then she lost her twins. She's in a very, her condition is actually worse off than me. Because she called me asking for help, but I couldn't help her because I don't have anything. What am I going to use to help her with? The best thing that I did, I told her I'm sorry. That's all that I could do at that moment. So me, on the other hand, when bad things happen, there's always a silver lining. I believe I'm here for a purpose. There are people who are worse off than me. And at the end of the life has no spare parts. If we are alive, that's the greatest gift.
When you
And
say life has no spare parts, what exactly do you mean?
if, as in, Corona is there, yes. If I insist on moving around selling clothes,
Mm,
then I'm infected with Corona, I'm dead tomorrow, where would my daughter go? My mom is not in, I don't think me leaving my daughter with she can't afford to take care of her. But she's also surviving.
yeah.
Actually, we are all surviving, which means no one can help any the other. Yet, as a must, you have to spare the little you have to send it to your mother. I usually do that. I spare on whatever I make to help her out. But which means you're operating with a very small budget. Things are not really working out the way you want them to work out. But again, you have to push it. You have to live within your means. Sometimes, actually, don't be surprised if you ever call and my phone is not on. Just nice, I gave it out so that I get a bag of rice or I get some posho for myself and my baby.
What do you mean you gave it back, gave it out? Do you mean you gave it to
Look,
who?
right now we're doing, we can do barter trade.
What's barter trade? So
Like,
give your phone, you give your phone for a bag of rice or something.
I can give it to the shopkeeper. He tells me the value
Mm,
of my phone.
mm,
Since it's a Techno phone, it's very cheap. So all I have to is he tells me how much it is. Since I've already used, so of course he'll give me little, and he take you can buy something from him. Eh?
mm.
Instead of giving you money, he gives you items. So don't be surprised if you find that you're calling and it's off. Just know
Yeah, this,
things became bad, and I had no alternative than to do that.
so if someone's listening to this and they're thinking, I'm going through this, I'm going through the same thing. Well, what would be your suggestion for them to get to a point where they're managing as much as possible, you know, with the faced with the challenge? I know it's a very difficult question to answer, but I'm just trying to see whether there's any light that can be shed that can act as a help or a point of hope for somebody that you might find that's helping your.
Don't give up. That's all I can tell you. Don't give up. Press on. If you've been eating a quarter a day, reduce on that quarter. Just live on. I'm just surviving. If and let's pray that this thing they find a cure for this thing so that we can go back to our. Yes, my normal life is not great, but at least
Mm,
when you have life,
mm,
God can change things. God can change things in mysterious ways. So please don't give up. Take heart. God will make a way. Because sometimes we've done, you know, have you ever been in a position whereby you think that you've done your best, you've done everything, but there's like you've run out of options,
yeah.
but still hang on.
Mm,
There is already, just have hope.
mm,
And when you have hope, you just hold on, hang on. Actually, me, I'm strong because I've seen people who are worse than me, who are in a very terrible situation, who are really, really, when you look at them, yes, you want to help, but you can't. They're actually in very worse conditions than I am. Those people actually they give me hope to hang in there because they are also holding on. They haven't yet given up hope. So who am I? Only a mother of one, yet there's someone else who has six. My greatest, actually, I only fear for my daughter.
we've come to a point where I'd like to use the opportunity just to give, if you got any social media or anything where, people just want to talk to you or get in touch with you and talk about how, the things they're going through or share some information. I don't know how comfortable you feel, but if you have, this is an opportunity for you to share that. But if not, then I can perfectly understand. I'm so happy that you are very honest and very candid in the conversation, just going through your experiences and under the current circumstances, understanding what life was before and the differences between the two. Sometimes when you think you're going through hard times and you hear other people's stories, you realize that, as you said, things are not as difficult. Things are not can be a lot worse. And I just want to thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else that you want to add or you want to talk about?
I just want to tell someone who's out there, they have given up, they have lost hope. Just know you're not the only one.
Mhm.
There are very many.
Yeah.
There, and just like they say this, we have their five fingers,
Mm,
but they're not equal.
mm,
So just know there's someone else who's living very little.
mm,
No, me, I'm here, but I'm still I'm worried about my mom, who's the other side, exposed.
Mm, mm,
She's living day by day. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're just praying, may God protect her. So I'm telling you, if you're not, you might be there in quarantine, you're in your house, but at least you're safe.
mm. And
Now,
that's
for her
important.
case, she's there.
Mm.
Actually, she's not safe at all
She's exposed every day.
because the place where she stays, it's more of a slum than even where I'm staying. Don't give up. There is hope.
Yeah.
Be hopeful. We'll get through this. For us here, I don't know if it's social media or what it is, but TV we watch, we're seeing people dying. Especially we watch and they show us Italians the way they are dying. I'm sorry if I'm not too, for us, there are some things we see as normal. Right now, if someone in my country died, the best I can tell them is sorry. And we don't expect you to cry for a long time. We expect you to be strong, actually. Like, for instance, right now, if you lost someone, yeah,
Mm,
you're not supposed to bury that person. How they give you 24 hours to bury that person, but you're supposed to be very few in numbers.
mm.
So, which means I can't be there for you physically.
Yeah, understood. Understood. Yeah.
This, they say Corona came, but it's like a wake up call. Now I have to go and start hustling. I have to think bigger. Me, my plan is, I don't know if it's okay for me to say this, but I want to leave Uganda to
Mm,
go and work somewhere else so that I can take care of my people back home. This thing of us being there, we are surviving, living on a very low budget. You can't even help your parent, you can't help your sister. This is not right. This has to stop. We have to break this cycle. I feel like I need to go work hard, go at least where I can earn a little bit more
mm,
so that I can take care of my people back home. At least they can live a better life. I don't want, I pray so hard. I don't want my daughter to
mm,
go through what I've gone through. Actually, I want her to be 100 times better than me. I
mm,
want her to be loved more than me. I want her to get everything that she has ever desired in her life. But here in Uganda, no matter, I don't know if I'm being pessimistic, but no matter how hard, because I've really worked hard, done my best. I've done, I'm tired. I've done my best, but still, I don't have any saving on my account. Life is still the same. There's no bigger change. Things are, you know, when you work, you want to see a certain change that I've moved from point A to B, but you're between A and B. You're not going backward, you're not going forward. Things are static at the same place. I don't think this is not how I want my life to be. I don't want my daughter to go through what I went through. I think you know a little bit about what we've been through. Single mother raising her kids on her own.
mm.
Then I'm going through the same thing. I don't want this story to happen again. I
And
want to be
that's the
better.
cycle that you're worried that will repeat itself.
I want to break this cycle. I don't want this. And as long as I'm here, I'm actually, it scares the hell out of me. I don't want this life. I don't want this to be this for my daughter. I want something better for her. She deserves something better. And I know with my hands, if I have life, if God bridges away from me, because I've seen people, I've seen my friends, they're taking care of their families back home and they're okay. They're doing better than me. And I think I can also achieve that. I still have the energy and I know I can work and make actually, I want my daughter to have a better life and I know one day, I'm just hopeful that one day she'll I'll give her the life that she deserves, that things will be better. With my own hands, I want to work, but the way I'm seeing things right now are not great. I want them to be better.
Understood. It's very, it's when you're doing this, you don't realize nothing is in terms of planning how the conversation is going to go. I can say for sure that none of this has been scripted or anything. Like I said, it's just about being honest about the story. So thank you very much. And this has been another. Is there anything else you want to add before we finish?
If I've said anything to offend anyone, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think you said anything to offend anyone. I think you've just been honest about your experience, and I think that's the most important thing. And I don't think any of this is intended with any malice or any offense. It's just your experience and your perspective. So I fully understand that. So if anyone takes an offense, they shouldn't. It's just one person's perspective of their life as it is. So thank you.
Thanks for giving me an ear.
Yeah.
Thanks for lending me your ear. Actually, this is therapy, though we don't believe in therapy in Uganda.
Yes.
But this is therapy.
No,
Actually, I needed someone